Like I said, I sent out the shout outs, but we'll wait just a second for people to come in. Um, but what have you been doing in Remnant lately?
Lately, I've just been helping others, I've been going through other streams, usually with lower viewers, and just like seeing what they're up to, trying to help them out. Recently, I helped some new Australian friends. They were slacking on Luminite crystals, and I was like, hey, I've got 1,200 of these things. Let me hop in and just sell them real quick to you. Because they wanted to get the Void armor set and they didn't have him, and they just were grinding for it. So I was like, yeah, let me hop in and I'll do that for you, and I did. And then they went to go do the final boss. They were going to do the Dreamer, and he got the bug, which doesn't let you access the mirror. And I was like, dang, I got that bug before, and I had to restart my campaign. So that happened to him. So he had to go to his buddy's world, which they had to do Yasha still. So I joined them, and then I helped them run through it real quick, and then they were able to complete the Dreamer after a few tries, which was pretty fun. So I was just helping them out with that.
Okay, so I'm not the only one then who's gotten the bug. I feel bad about that, but I'm glad to know that because I had actually never seen that before. That happened to me for the first time, and I mean, unless I completely blanked out, that happened to me for the first time in 400 plus hours. Um, uh, here the when I well it was whenever I did the Shinobi build. And I got to the very end, and then the mirror glitched out. There's still some bugs in the game.
Yeah.
Uh, that I thought you were about to say the classic one, which I haven't seen since they patched it a couple patches ago, is where the no matter how much damage you deal to the Dreamer, the or when he goes to Nightmare form, no matter how much damage you deal to him, his chest doesn't open up.
I was gonna
Uh,
say I've never seen that.
yeah, that in the very beginning of the game, or the very beginning of the development of the game, when that came out, they did not fix that in time, and that was honestly, I think that was even more frustrating because when the mirror doesn't activate, if you've never seen the fight before, you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, whatever. But if you get the fight and you don't know that no matter how much damage you do, the chest doesn't open up, you would just think the fight's impossible.
Yeah.
It's certain levels. Because I mean, the guy's got like 300 million health.
Right.
It's certain points. I mean, I think without exaggeration, I think on Apocalypse, he probably does have like 100 million, 150 million health.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
sure.
but yeah, well, that's also that you're getting to help people. I have not been as good about that. I just like to really do the solo runs because I'm trying the builds and it completely defeats the purpose of trying it if I end up getting carried while I'm just over there, rolling into a wall constantly. Uh,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started. What got you into streaming in the first place? Actually, wait. I almost forgot. Sorry, I was trying to break repetition, but I inadvertently did it in the wrong way. As always, I am going to allow you to introduce yourself because I think that is crucial that the interviewee introduces themselves. So take it away, Impulsive. I'll let you go ahead and do that.
All right. So, my name's Garrett in real life. I used to stream many, many years ago. I streamed consistently for a year, and then I had my time given up because I was living with my mom, after high school, and she gave me that time to do that. And then I had to get a job. Well, as I was working there, I joined the military um, because I didn't enjoy that job. So I joined the military, which took me out of streaming and gaming for a while, for training and all that. And then now I'm stationed up in Alaska. I'm an Arctic paratrooper, and I'm military intelligence, so I'm doing that for my career right now. And then yeah, I'm 23, just turned 23. I had my birthday on the 7th, and I've just been spending time up here, trying to work and then spend time streaming when I get the chance.
So you're a paratrooper. I never in a million years could do that. I'm afraid of heights. Um, but if you don't mind me asking, like, so what is the were you always interested in skydiving and stuff like that, or is that just something that you didn't really discover you enjoyed until you got into the military?
Well, to start, I would say I don't actually enjoy it currently, but it's just part of my job and you
Oh,
kind of have
okay.
to do it. Um, but no, I've never been like one to say like I guess I never was against like skydiving. I just never thought it was a realistic thing to actually do. And then as I was getting my contract started and being recruited, they were like, "Well, here's opportunity to be airborne. It's a little bit extra money. You just jump a little bit and training's pretty easy." And I was like, "You know what? Sign me up." And I did that. So I've had around 9 or 10 jumps so far in the 3 years I've been in, almost 3 years. And then yeah,
I love the description of that. It's just a little jump. Uh, what altitudes do you normally jump at?
I think it's around 1,200 feet.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
and as far as the training for that is concerned, um, does after boot camp, does it kind of diverge into its own speciality, or or is it training goes on like this was something that was decided as you were going through boot camp?
So it's different. Some people like me, they'll have it in their contract as soon as they join the military, and you'll have training set for it at a certain period of time. So that would be after AIT. I'm not sure how well you are aware with that, but it goes basic training, AIT, which is your job training, and then you do your other schools, which is airborne training. And then some people don't have it in their initial contract, and then they have to go through basic and AIT, and then get offered in AIT to do it and make it into the process and then go into it. And then for the training, it's 3 weeks in Georgia, um, and you're just running constantly. You're sweating. It's humid, and you do a bunch of drills for different techniques of for like landing on how to operate the system, how to jump out of the plane, how to act in the plane, and then you do some like zip line kind of jumps there, and then you also do 5 total jumps while you're in airborne to be certified.
Every time I think of military training, have you seen the film or the well not the film but the TV series on HBO, Band of Brothers?
I have not.
Okay, they start out their journey. They actually show this show. A lot of World War II movies start the storming of the beaches of Normandy, but in this particular show, they actually start out in boot camp,
Mm.
and which is interesting because if any of you all have seen the show Friends, Ross from Friends is their drill sergeant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Interesting.
yeah, and he's much more um, uh, definitely a different character. We'll put it that way. I won't spoil it in the show. But anyways,
That's good. Yeah.
they train in Currahee Mountain, and every time I think of military training now, I think of Currahee, where it's just this long, all the way up, and then all the way down, and all the way up, and all this mountainous path, and it's just so arduous. But that's just what I think of every time I think of military. I don't think I'll ever think of anything else. The
Nice.
Pacific is also great. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It's made by the same people. Yeah. It was Steven Spielberg, I believe that. Yeah. I think he co-directed it with Tom Hanks. Um. So it was definitely a good show. Would recommend it to anybody. Um. But so with all that, how did you what brought you to streaming?
So uh I was a Destiny 1 OG player. I started with Destiny 1. That was the best game to me ever in my life. That was my favorite game by far, and I had a really cool crew that I would be playing with, and a lot of friends. And eventually, I ran into two new friends, and they were like, we should start a group of streaming, like a streaming group, and just do that because like I don't like to toot my own horn, but like our group was funny and we were also really good at the game. I was a big leader in that game. I would always be helping out new people. Any chance I saw a new person, I would always try and message them or get in contact with them and be like, "Hey, you need any help with anything?" So I love helping new players, and we were planning on doing a group stream startup, and they were just like never getting around to it. They just didn't want to, and I was like, you know what? I'll do it by myself. So I started streaming Destiny 1 on the console through PlayStation, and I did that for a long time. Um, and I switched between different games. Destiny was my main thing, but I played Minecraft. I played Rocket League. I played like Call of Duty Ghosts and stuff. I streamed all those types of games, and then like I said, after that year was up, I had built up a decent community. I had like 950 followers and standard viewers every time I streamed, which was pretty cool. But then I joined the military and I had to get away from all that. So I wasn't able to stream until, a couple of years later, and it hasn't been consistent, still isn't consistent just because of work and, stress and life and all the stuff that's been happening. So, um I've been trying to keep it up, but being part of this community and like really enjoying Remnant, and still being able to help other people, it's really fun to stream it. So it gives me a lot of motivation to do that. And thanks to you for talking me into affiliate. That's helped a lot and given me a lot more motivation as well. So
Well, I'm glad I could help with that. But as credit always goes to the people that are hitting that go live button, because it is a strenuous thing, and with your job, I imagine that there is even no matter how much you enjoy it, I imagine that there is a level of stress with it. So kudos to you for for getting back into it. And the common theme today with all these interviews I've noticed has been people taking breaks and getting back into it. And the thing I want to tell everybody is I've said it in every single interview. If you get sick of me here or get sick of hearing me say it, well, sorry, I'm going to keep saying it because I think people need to hear it continuously, and that is that you don't have to put upon yourself this stress of streaming every single day, 8 to 10 hours a day, in order to build a community or be successful. Just simply, uh, being consistent on any level, whether it's once a week, twice a week, once every other week. If people just kind of have a relative time that they know that you can be there, um, that's enough to keep working towards whatever goal you have with streaming, whether it's just making friends, building an awesome community, or trying to get partner or something, or go even further with it. So I just don't want people to ever look at themselves and say, well, hey, I need to take a break for a month. I need to take a break for 3 months, because I know people. I know people that are partnered, right, that took breaks
hmm
for months. And yeah, so the main thing is if you take a break from it, but you still want to get back into it, get back into it. Don't you don't have to let it consume you that you're not being a full-time streamer when a lot of times even the full-time streamers take breaks. So,
right, exactly.
so yeah, don't put that pressure upon yourself. It would be my advice to people. Um,
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't choose to take that break. Obviously, it was like part of the job.
right.
Um, and then like to be honest, I never had stress for streaming when I did that year. I would do like some crazy. I would go, 24-hour stream, sleep for 12 hours, 24-hour stream. Like I was grinding it out, man. I was hitting it hard and really doing it. And it was fun to me, but it started getting stressful, once I got this job and I've been doing it up here, every once in a while. So I can see it now. There's days where like I have limited time after work and you want to spend time relaxing. You want to either stream, you want to play games, and like you kind of want to do all of it, but at the same time, streaming is a little bit more work than just relaxing. So, sometimes you don't get around to it for sure. So,
It is. It's definitely something to where if you are not able to be in informed, so to speak, mentally and physically, it's definitely not as fun of an experience. And I think that a lot of people, they hit the go live button, whether they're prepared to or not. And listen, if it's your, I've said this before too, if it's your source of financial stability, I understand the pressure of having to hit it if it's not your best day or not. But if you are doing this, for fun, or you can, afford to take a break if you need it, take a break. you know,
Yeah.
because I said this the other day as well. If you think to yourself, oh, well, I don't want to miss this one day, or I don't want to miss this one week. Well, you don't want to get to the point where you've missed 6 months because you didn't take that week break. Um,
Right.
you know, but with transitioning, so what brought you from Destiny to Remnant?
Um, it wasn't a transition directly from Destiny.
Okay.
Because I haven't been playing Destiny for a while. I played it all the way through Destiny 2, played a good portion of that, and I never thought I would ever be tired of Destiny. It was a huge, huge game to me. It was part of my life, and it drove me out. It drove a lot of people out. It's been getting boring. It's been getting grindy. It was really easy, to just hit that max level, hit the max gear. I was really good at it. I was great at PvP. I'd be carrying people. I'd be carrying viewers through that for trials. I was excellent at raids, raid leader, and all that. So like hitting that peak wasn't hard. So it was easy to dry out the game for me. So I switched to like other games and stuff. I mostly played CS:GO and different types of games on the PC. And then one day I saw another streamer playing this game called Remnant, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Like I like the whole Dark Souls aspect, but it's with guns, which requires you to have precise aim and accuracy to be to excel at it. And I was like, that's a cool challenge. I like things that require aim. And he was fighting the Undying King, but he kept dying. And as I'm watching him do this, he's missing all his shots and his dodges. And I'm like, this man's bad. Like, this looks easy. I feel like I could do way better. And I was like, I gotta get this game and prove like that it's easy. So I did.
Me, he's
And
talking about me, everybody. He just doesn't
no,
want to
no, it's,
say.
it's not him. But of course I got stomped by Gorefist 40 times my first time playing, and then I just excelled at it afterwards, and just been streaming it, and then finally got reach into this community, and I was like, wow, this community's great. Let me see if I can expand in this. And that's what I've been doing. I've just been trying to help other players, because I got a little bit of help when I first started, and it's just been pretty fun.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is, the communities have been so accepting and overall just absolutely wonderful, and just so forthwith with their willingness to help out other people. As I said before, I don't know. I really love to do an analysis on stuff like this. Write my research thesis, go back to college all over again.
Hmm.
Um, you know, talking about, I don't know if there's an element of PvP where people who play PvP feel competitive, in the one-on-one aspect of all sorts of things where, streaming becomes a competition. I don't want to share my community or share my viewers or whatever, but with Remnant it hasn't been that at all. People have been absolutely amazing, and I've had amazing experiences with people in Overwatch. As I always say, I don't regret my time playing Overwatch because of all the amazing people I've met. With that
Hmm.
being said, now the game can go screw itself. But uh, so have you always had a preference for games with the higher level of difficulty, steeper learning curves, or was it something that you kind of it became more and more prominent in your requirements for games as you went on?
I don't have a particular preference to difficulty. Like the only reason I don't play Dark Souls is it just doesn't seem like my type of game. I
Okay.
understand it's hard, but that doesn't push me away from it. M- The games I look for, I have like pretty easy brackets for types of games. I like a game that allows me to do, online multiplayer is a huge thing for me. Multiplayer. I love customization. Like Destiny, you got all these different pieces of gear that you can use. World of Warcraft, all these different pieces of gear, customization. I love collecting, so I love just grinding out and getting all the gear I can, because I want to be on top. I want to be that guy that has everything that people are like, holy cow, this guy's decked out. It's cool. And then I like to help those people and get the same stuff. So customization, multiplayer, online, and then building. I'm a really creative guy. I'm trying to learn Rust so I can help somebody build a Hunger Games server for an event or something. I was a huge builder in Minecraft. I used to build for clans and do buildings for that. Just a huge creative person as well. So when it has multiple of those aspects, I can really get into something like that. So
So creativity is a huge component for what you look for, and I definitely appreciate that because you know, I think one of the things that's missing from a lot of games and why I'm drawn to Remnant, why I do the builds all the time, is a lot of what games are missing now is everything seems to have these very static tier list and metas, and even in PvE games, right? Even in
yeah,
PvE games, you would have
absolutely.
like, Skyrim. Like, I'm sorry, but like stealth archer, god damn it,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
my go-to,
yeah,
man. That's my go-to.
yeah, stealth archer. You just literally shoot like the main boss, and then you just like wait a second, and he's like got an arrow sticking out of his head, and he's like, oh yeah, no,
It must have
nothing.
been a
Yeah,
noise.
yeah, yeah. Must have been a noise.
Yeah,
Stop, criminal scum. But anyway, yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, you have these tier lists and these metas, and you could say the same thing about to a certain degree in Remnant. But I've seen so many builds that people are comfortable with running like through Apocalypse and stuff, and they're like, "This is my build." I know that there's a build, and I can't remember what his accessories were. Somebody running the Radiant Armor set with Song of Swords and Huntsman. Uh, with the beam rifle,
right.
and they fought Ixalis, and every single time they were able to shut it down before it was able to scream, or before they were able to scream.
Right.
So I didn't have that type of luck. I shouldn't say luck, but I didn't have that type of success with it. I mean, I had to go to sniper rifle or go to Riftwalker or something, and then meanwhile I haven't seen anybody do the Riftwalker build. Not
Yeah.
to not to
I
brag
don't see
about
that often.
it. I mean, it's just something that I kind of came up with, and I've had success with it. So um, but so getting into Remnant, you kind of told us a little bit about your first experience with Gorefist. Same, by the way. That was the first boss
Yeah.
I came up against. Um, damn you, exploding muffin boys.
Hmm.
But what was it like? Progressing through the game is your first, kind of reliving your first experience progressing through it. What did you think of it?
Okay. I'll answer that, but I just wanted to add one more thing to what you just said though about the whole like creativity and builds and stuff
Hmm.
and like, like metas and stuff. Is I don't know, do you know Dodd Regin Blue? He's been in my stream a few times. I don't know if he's ever stopped by yours or anything. He's a YouTuber for Remnant as well.
Um, I
You might have seen him. He does a lot of math videos for Remnant.
huh. No, I don't. I might. Well, I'll be completely honest with you. Half the time, I'm not entirely sure who I am. So, as far as my cognitive awareness,
Right.
I might have absolutely, I might have even had a conversation with him and just forgot. Um, but yeah. Wait,
So
I think he
yeah,
just followed.
yeah, no. So anyways, he does, his channel is a lot on math builds, or math in general in Remnant. He knows all the math with everything in the game. It's awesome. Um, but he's proven with math that the best build that you can do is with beam rifle, and if you do beam rifle correctly, the most damage you can produce with it is twice as much as the second most damaging gear loadout you can do in the game. So obviously you've got beam rifle that is way up there, right?
Hmm.
It should be meta, and it would be meta in almost any other game. If Destiny had something like that, that'd be the meta. My favorite thing is that no matter what it is, because he wants it to be nerfed, and I tell him it doesn't need to be. You know why? Because I know your math, I trust your math. I still won't use beam rifle. I don't like it. I'd much
Right.
rather prefer other things. So the fact that there's all these awesome builds out there and yet people don't use things that could be or should be meta, I think really proves that the game is great and lets you have that freedom. It doesn't matter what you use as long as you enjoy using it and it works for you. That's good. So that's something I just wanted to say. Like they did that really well.
Oh no,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, there's a major feel component in Remnant.
mhm,
What
mhm.
feels right over what actually, is the solitary strongest build or whatever. Um, and I appreciate that they nerf and they buff stuff, but yeah, I think as they've added more items too, things have shifted. When they added stuff in survival, when they added stuff in hardcore, more things became available like Black Rose, Daredevil Charm, Empowering
Yep.
Loop, all that good stuff. Devouring Loop's supposed to be good, but damn it all, I can never get a proc from the thing. It feels
Oh
like.
yeah, I see people get them in rows of like four, and I get them once every like 10 minutes. But yeah, it's crazy. They can add one piece. All it takes is one piece of gear added to the game, and it creates like 10 different builds you can do, which is awesome to me.
Yeah, I absolutely love that about the game. So speaking of builds, what did you run through the first time you played? I know
Oh man. Okay,
I'll
let's see here. Um, I want to say sniper. I think it was hunting rifle until I got the sniper. Then I ran sniper for a good bit until I got crossbow, and then I fell in love with the crossbow. Crossbow was by far my favorite weapon for so long until I started tinkering with the particle accelerator, and I was like, this thing is so nice. It feels so great. And so I switched from there. I think I completed my first campaign with the crossbow. Um, and then I started using particle accelerator to grind out other gear, and then I just fell in love with that until recently. Now I know like sniper and hunting pistol, that's just the way to go. That's my favorite thing ever. So I just run that. But yeah, definitely, definitely, I was always along the one shot to high damage kind of weapons throughout the whole game.
Yeah, I think, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure out a way to combine things like particle accelerator. I'd like to combine it with the corrosive handgun. I can't remember what it is.
The hive cannon
Yeah,
or the devastator? Not
yeah,
devastator.
yeah, hive
Okay.
cannon. Yeah, yeah. Um, I'd like to combine it with something like that or wildfire or something like that because I know explosive shot is what a lot of people combine it with, but I'd like to see what I could get out of the corrosive ticks of damage with the debuff.
Hmm.
Maybe see what happens. But yeah, I mean that's the thing is that you can sit there and you can think of all different things. When I first played it, um, no shame in my game. I ran a scrapper build all the way through. I didn't change.
Ew.
I didn't change a damn thing. I came from
you know,
Overwatch as a Winston player. It's like I can't aim for shit. I'm getting the
I'm
shotgun.
I'm gonna be honest. I very much dislike when I watch streamers and they've already either beaten the game or are about to beat the game and they're still wearing the starter gear. And I'm just like, why? Like why not use all this other gear that you've gotten that is so much cooler or probably better? And I'm just like, I can't believe it. But yeah, I feel you. I like being a tank as well, and I don't know. I like sniping a little bit more. So
The funny thing is though, is that the scrapper gear, like of all, like some of the starting gear is actually not too bad in game. It's not the
right.
most optimal, but I think
Repeater pistol, man. That's one of my. I think it's a really good pistol. You can carry that through the entire game.
yeah, I think I got. I think once I found out about the submachine gun, I think I kept up with that. But yeah, mostly I was just like using the shotgun because I was like I can't aim, but if I get close enough to something, I'm gonna wallop it. Uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so I definitely but I do agree with what you're saying. Like to not I went from being very stagnant in what I did to now I'm literally trying all different builds all the time.
Hmm. Oh
Uh,
yeah. I mean, you test more builds than anybody I see. So.
yeah, it's just so much fun. But that's another thing that's kind of cool too is that you do a lot of runs with helping people in the community. Mario does his survival solo runs.
And
Um,
you do your builds.
And yeah, and Sykes does his community hardcore sessions, and
Hmm.
so there's all different aspects of it.
Which I got a problem with you because,
Oh God.
you've done so many builds. Like, how am I supposed to try and come up with a build? Like you're not giving me any creativity over here.
Well,
Everything I try to think of, it's like, oh, that's already been done.
what you could do, something I haven't done. I've been meaning to get around to it, but if you wanna run with this idea, feel free to do it. You could go to the Remnant Discord and be like, "Hey, give me a build," because there are people in the channel who will literally give builds if you ask them. They'll try to put
Yeah,
something together, and then you could do like rate a build type of thing,
yeah.
Um,
I might leave the builds to you, man. I don't know. You're
well,
a little bit better than I am with that.
well, it's funny because I'm gonna have to do it all over again. Half the builds I'm doing are gonna be completely irrelevant when the new DLC comes out, especially once they mentioned that they're gonna have. I don't know if they're gonna do it for stuff like bleed and stuff like that, but they mentioned they're gonna have an amulet for all the status ailments or elements like like
What do you mean?
well, so storm amulet, right?
Right.
Storm amulet is unique in that it's the only uh I
Elemental amulet
yeah,
focus.
actually I think it's the only elemental item in the game, right? For one singular.
Besides Keeper's Ring, which is 20 elemental resist to
Yeah.
elements. Yeah.
Um
Those two are the only elements.
so yeah, it's but they're they're going to the developer said in the when they were doing the Remnant DLC live stream a couple weeks ago, he said that they're going to have an amulet like that, like a storm amulet for each type of element, and they're going to do unique things. So
Hmm.
you'll get the bonus damage or whatever, like storm amulet, but there'll be more added to it. So
I
I
would say like the added to part is probably good because if it was just something like the Storm Amulet, I would only ever see it being useful on harder difficulties when you're about to fight. I don't know, let's say like the fire crossbow, Yeisha boss, and you're about to fight fire, and you'd equip it for that fight and that fight only.
hmm
I would only see it being useful that way. But if it does something, added to something cool, I think that would be more useful for other people for sure.
Oh yeah, like if they were to do fire, I think they should totally do something like if you have this amulet equip, enemies that get within a certain amount of 5 meters or whatever within a.
Catch fire.
Yep. Yeah.
That would
Exactly.
be sick. I would even take not even anything added, but because like I told you, I love customization. If you equip the fire amulet and your character would just look like he's on fire or something cool like that, like a visual effect, I
hmm
would even take that because I think that would be super cool. And I would love to be going through, early, starter worlds that people just started. And I just, they're like, yeah, I'll take some help. And you spawn into the crystal and you're just standing there on fire and just like look like some kind of badass. I think that'd be really cool. So
Yeah. Follow me. It's like okay, creature from the netherworld. I will
yeah,
follow
yeah,
you into battle, glorious battle. Um, I think I definitely agree with. There's always unless we're talking about World of Warcraft, because I'll never be able to get on my head the meme where somebody took the Warcraft movie poster, and they were like, if this was actually World of Warcraft, and they just had all of his armor was like mismatched in different colors and different
yeah.
sizes, and uh, so maybe not so much with the ridiculousness of World of Warcraft, but yeah, I think the cosmetic value of once you reach a certain peak, like I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but League of Legends, one of the best skins in the game that they ever came up with was the Pulse Fire Ezreal skin. Because as you level up, the skin changes.
That's
Uh,
pretty cool.
and they even add new animations as it levels up. Like when he gets max, he no longer walks; he flies around.
Hmm.
Um, so there's not like an actual speed boost, but it's an animation change.
Right.
So that was definitely, and that was one of their more expensive skins. That was definitely worth it, that cosmetic value. So
Oh
Gunfire
yeah, I'd
Games,
probably get that.
Gunfire Games, please pay attention to that stuff. We love you, but yeah, add that type of stuff.
Cosmetics, man.
Um, So yeah, so what are your thoughts on we could talk all day long about the way the game is now, but what are your thoughts on what you've seen from the DLC?
Um, I like it. I would say the biggest thing that piques my interest, right, is in the trailer you see a lot of huge bosses. From the trailer, it's hard to tell, not in game, but some of them seem a lot bigger than the end, which is one of the biggest bosses we have right now. So to me, that question, like, I question, wonder, or sorry, I wonder, um, are they going to implement a new way to move, or are they going to implement new like maneuvering throughout the boss fight? Like, are they going to do some kind of like Shadow of Colossus? Because when I look at some of those bosses, they give me Shadow of Colossus vibes, and I
Oh
wonder if
yeah,
they're going to allow us to
100%.
do some kind of like jumping on a boss's back or something cool like that. I think that'd be kind of interesting.
And I know exactly what boss you're the main
The big
boss.
white one.
Yep, the one you're referring to, the
Yep.
one that looks like
Yep.
a giant buffalo. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that looks like something straight out of Team Ico. So it's definitely um, looking to be an awesome. You know what? And also this new expansion reminds me of, and I hope people don't dislike the game because I actually enjoyed the first one. I didn't play the second one, but Lost Planet.
Never
Uh,
played it.
the aesthetic of the ice world and all that reminds me of it, especially with the giant monsters. Um, but I'm extremely excited for it. I'm excited because they said they're gonna clear up, clarify, and well, I guess those two words are synonymous, but they're going to expand upon the storyline and finally start tying things together in I think a more um, pronounced fashion as opposed to trying to be subtle with everything. Like what you had talked about some of your grievances with the story. Um,
Right.
I think they're going to be more direct in how they approach it now, which I would really appreciate. Um,
Yes, I would say I'm glad that I read all the computers and all the lore throughout the game the first time. Which, like I said before, if you don't do that, you don't really know who the dreamer is when you get to him. Which to me is a downfall because I'm not the person that reads all the lore. That's not usually my type of thing. But I was enjoying the game and I was like, you know what? Why not? I'm playing offline. I'm not streaming this. Why not take the time and just read it? So that's out of my, like natural way of playing games. So I feel like if they make it more welcoming, and easier for people that don't want to read all the lore, or maybe you're streaming and don't want to go through it all on stream, um, that'd be really nice.
yeah, and the so here's the thing for developers and stuff who if they're not listening now, maybe they're listening in the future, right?
Right,
If you yes, there is an interesting diverse way of storytelling in regards to the way that the Souls games do it,
right.
where it's very, very fragmented, very much something you have to piece together. But also, as I've said before, in telling the backstory of how that works, Miyazaki, the director of those games, not the Miyazaki, not Hideo, or but is it? Yeah, it's Hideo Miyazaki, right? No. Um, oh God, now I forgot Miyazaki's first name. The actual, the yeah, okay. I said Hideo. It's Hideo Kojima, but Hayao Miyazaki. So the director of you know movies like Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro,
Hmm.
Ponyo, all that stuff. So this is the Miyazaki for From Software is a different person, but the way that he tells stories is how he grew up. Um, reading certain books where they would only have certain books in the library. They'd have like Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, and Return of the King, but they would be missing the Two Towers. And so
Okay.
he had to piece together everything that happened in between those two books. So the reason that it works in capacity in a lot of ways for him is because it's a natural way of understanding stories. But in other for other people, it comes across a little more forced, I think, because we know that that's not how they, I mean, I guess I can't say for certainty, but I'd be willing to take a significant gamble that that's not the way in which a lot of people began their learning of how to tell a story.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so it's okay. You don't have to have. Uh, I don't know anybody here if or if anybody here has read Cormac McCarthy novels, Blood Meridian, of course, No Country for Old Men, The Road, stuff like that. But if you ever do read Cormac McCarthy, he has a very, very straightforward, very plain way of storytelling. Very, very almost simplistic in a way, beautifully simplistic, but it is very simplistic, and it works.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get too fancy, game developers, when you're telling a
Right.
story. Sometimes a good story is just it is bare bones, you know, beginning, middle, end, nothing anachronistic. It is plot A, B, C, and that is it.
Mm.
So,
Yep.
what I'm trying to say is, I'm not buying a VR headset for the next. Sorry. Um, but yeah, it's no, I completely agree with you. So, what are some things that that you're hoping that comes forth since we talk so much about customization stuff? What are some items in the game that might not be there but you'd like to see?
Now, are we talking about actual items or are we talking about customization items?
Well, no, no, no. I'm talking about like weapons, armor,
Hmm.
accessories. Is there anything that's not in the game so far that you think would be really, really cool? Like the BFG
Yes.
from Doom Eternal. All right, go ahead.
So, to throw out some from previous people that have mentioned, so for example, like Sai, Sai wants his samurai sword and his dual pistols.
Right.
Um, w- when I first completed my first playthrough, I created a list of things I wanted to add, and if I had that list with me, I would definitely go over it, but it's somewhere else right now. But, um, which by the way, I wrote down a snow map world for Remnant, so I called that right away. Uh, but something I wrote down right away was I want to see a sword and shield melee. I think
Okay.
that'd be really cool. A smaller shield, a light sword, one armed sword, and have that play into effect. I think that might be kind of interesting. I would love to see how they work around that.
Um, yeah, I think that would be really cool. I want to see. Here's what I would like to see. On that note, I'm gonna kind of play off of what you just said.
Hmm.
I'd like there to be a ring. Um, I don't think it should be an amulet because I think you'd be losing too much by having that be an amulet, not other things be
Right.
an amulet. But to where melee attacks have an increased range, so we can use certain melee weapons for boss fights like Ixalis, Nightmare, Dreamer, except well, I guess you could use them for a regular one for Dreamer when he crashes to the ground, but um, have that stuff so that you could actually give people ways to finish a game. That's one of the things that I do campaign mode for because yes, we could run through survival, yes, we could run through adventure mode, but we're losing out on certain boss fights, in my opinion, if a build isn't applied to campaign mode. Um, so I think that would be interesting. I would also add, and this is something that you mentioned that I would really like to see. I'd like to see now this. I think this would be an amulet, but an amulet that allows you to do the dual pistol wield in place of in place of a long gun, and you could
Really?
equip two pistols. I think that would be cool.
Do you think that would be cool? Or let's see. Do you think that would be useful in like a meta build, or you want that to be something creative for like other kinds of builds, for like your kind of build videos or streams?
As far as a meta build goes, it would depend on um, how they did it and how you could equip mods and stuff like that. But you could, in theory, as far as I'm trying to think of like the fight to end all fights, the root mother, you could run a hunting pistol in combination with like a magnum or something um, to disrupt the slayers, the archers, from targeting
Right.
her. So you could do that in combination with like rattleweed or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I think you could, depending on the mods that you ran. Um, but yeah, I don't see why not. Like if you had something like Curse of the Jungle God has such a high fire rate, if you combine that with um, submachine gun or repeater pistol, Spitfire. Although technically he does hold Spitfire with two hands, but
Mhm.
um, if you could do stuff like that, I mean, I think the high fire rate would be, I think it would be like far exceed anything like a assault rifle or Chicago typewriter or anything like that.
Yeah, possibly. Um, so for your first one about like the whole ring that with the range for the melee,
Hmm.
I think that they're already resolving that with the whole update to the hero's sword, where it's going to actually be able to release projectiles, which will allow us to finally do a complete melee build no matter what the boss is. I think that might be interesting, depending on how much damage it does, of course. It might be grindy. And then something I wanted them to add, which technically is not a new item, but uh, if this is gonna be the final DLC, officially for this game, like specifically, why not go all the way out and let's say after we complete, I don't know, the final boss of this DLC, right? Unlock the ability to put on 3 rings. I
Okay.
would just love to see, especially for people like you that do builds, I would love to see what kind of crazy combinations people could go and run with 3 rings equipped. I think that would be pretty cool.
I would add that there's a couple of other things I would add. One, give me a boomerang. Um,
Yes, a boomerang would be really cool.
I think a boomerang would be really cool. Another thing that I would like to see, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I
Hmm.
think that they could do a type of grenade launcher weapon in a way that it wouldn't be significantly over.
Crappy.
Yeah. Well, well, crappy, but also significantly. Like I think they could find a balance. I don't think it would be, because when you think of an item like that, you either think that in a game like that it's going to be absolute just horrendous, or you think it's going to be so overpowered that everything else is going to pale in comparison. I think that they could do it in a way that that it would be functional.
So you want a weapon that's actually a grenade launcher that you can apply mods to.
Yes.
Would you want it to be mod applicable or would you want it to have a set mod?
Um,
Because to me, I feel like if they were to do that, it'd probably be something that it'd probably have a set mod. But I think that would be very nice if they did it to where we could choose our own for sure.
well, if they did a set mod, so here's the thing: if they did a set mod, the practical solution to that, because we've seen weapons like this in other games, would be it would launch a detonator mine that would, when enemies came within proximity of it, it would explode. Um, they could do something like that to where,
Or
well,
a splitter explosive
yeah,
where it like breaks into other explosives or something.
well, if they were going to do, yeah, if they were going to do something like that, I'd prefer it just be part of the ice um, equipment that whatever they come up with, where it
Hmm.
creates like a giant icicle or whatever, and just from the you could even do to where you freeze an enemy, and then the mod is that as they're frozen, if you kill them while they're frozen, they explode into shrapnel. That
That would be see that's something visually that I would love to see in this game, Something that you could actually do to the enemies cuz all we have is the what is the Dreamer's final drop right
repulsor,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's all we have visually really besides fire damage and stuff like that. We don't have a lot of visuals in the game, which I would love to see. That's something I like to see, so.
Now, the one other thing I would add that'll never be in this game, and I don't blame them, a shrink ray.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, they definitely wouldn't.
I think that would just be funny as shit. But yeah, they'll never add it, of course. They'll never add it. But I mean,
I
something
want to
like
see a mini gore fist for
yeah,
sure.
something like that would be hilarious. But yeah, I think that I think that items like that are always something too that you kind of, if you play around with, you give yourself the challenge of trying to figure out, how this does work necessarily. Like what would be applicable in this? Okay, so we can't shrink, you know, the the in,
Elites maybe or bosses.
yeah, you could shrink maybe the elites, but we could
Right.
shrink like the bosses. So what would be the turnabout? In its own hilarity, you could do it for like instead of shrinking the int, you grow to the int size. For like
No, that might be. I would love to see a melee fight against you and similar sizes.
yeah
I
that
think that'd be cool.
so you could do something like that. And in all seriousness, the one last weapon that I would like to see is okay. So we have the Guardian Axe, but we
Hmm.
don't have just a massive
Right. I
battle
agree.
axe, and
Yep.
I would love to see that. And of course, the charge attack would just be a rotating spin. Um,
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
I think that that's something that I would love to see.
I actually believe that was on my list was a actual like two-handed axe. I think that was on my list before, for
Yeah,
sure.
and I know people would argue and say, well, Petrified Maul, Scrap Hammer, et cetera, are kind of similar to that. Well, not really if you actually break down how the build would work. If you do body rotations with the axe, it would look completely
Hmm.
different,
Yep.
and it would open up. You would still have weak spots and stuff in your defense. So stuff like that would be absolutely one of the games that had and I don't know if you ever got a chance to play it, but one of the games that had some of the best creative weapons in all of video games, Turok.
I've heard of it. I've not played it.
Well,
I
you
don't. I'm not sure what it is.
well you can play it on Steam. But holy crap, some of the some of the items in that game, like there was one where you shot a little drill spike from your gun and it bored into the enemy's head and then just exploded.
That's
Um,
pretty cool.
yeah, so there was stuff like this that was just of course they had the bow and all that stuff, but then they had Turok's tech bow, which actually had like exploding arrows and all sorts of different things. He became was it the Green Arrow. So it
Hmm.
was it was really really cool. All the stuff that they added. And of course, they had shotguns, assault rifles, all that. But some of their more creative items were just I just to this day I even remember how awesome they were. Um,
Right.
is there anything that you're not looking forward to, or that you're worried about in terms of the DLC?
So just in case I'm the first one to call it, I'm calling that there is an ice pick melee weapon that we'll get. Just saying. I'll put that out there right now,
Okay.
officially. But what I'm worried about, hmm, I haven't thought much of that really. I mean, besides the obvious ones where more bugs, or worse bugs. Um, let's see, what could be bad? Hmm, it would be. I mean, I don't really know what they could do that would be really bad unless they implemented something completely different. Like, for example, they implement like a three ring slot. If they
Mhm.
change the way the game plays compared to now, that might put things off depending on how it acts. Like, well, if they added us to be able to like double jump or something, that could completely throw off like how this game plays, how it feels. Some people might not like that because it doesn't feel like the same game. So something like that, I would be worried about. I hope that they don't change something too big in a negative way like that. Um, but my biggest worry is just a letdown. Give us a lot because we all love this game. Don't give us too little. Hit every category. Give me more skins. Give me weapon skins. Give me something like that. Give me a bunch of new armors that look good, or um, something like that. Give me more weapon mod customizations. Give me like what we want for this final DLC, because if they're gonna make it the final, go out with a bang and don't let us down. That's the only thing I would say that I'm worried about.
Yeah, and I concur with a lot of that, and I would also say that one of my personal big fears is that um, So with the Courses DLC, I think they did a good job. I think Barbed Horror is a pretty unique boss fight. I think the Moth, well, I was going to say the Moth Queen, but um, the Iskall Queen is a very unique fight. But I don't want to see more Dream Eater type fights. I don't like the fight, but it's also the fact that it's a very much just a rehash of the Elite. And I think that I'm sure that they'll have one or two of those just because to use as dungeon bosses, but I really want to see more versatility in what they bring to the boss table, less reliance on ad spam, um, and more just because, like, like the barbed horror fight, there are no ads.
No ads, no ads, but it's a great fight.
Yeah, and same thing with Iskall Queen. The only ad she has is at the very beginning, but that's not really a big deal. That's actually more of an attack that she has than anything because you get that's the Seeker mod. Um,
Right.
and so that's what I would really, really like to see, me personally.
I
Uh,
would like to add on to that. So I agree with you halfway. I want to meet you halfway because I agree. It is boring, and it is boring, especially right now, because you have Shroud elites, you have Gorefist elites, and those are the first ones you come across, and that's the first bosses you come across. So for new players, they're like, oh, they're just reskins. This game's not going to be that great. And so I can understand that, and it is boring. But at the same time, I think it's really nice of them to do that because it teaches the newer players how they should react to those fights. They get the practice in before they hit the final, like the boss of that elite. So it's like it's helpful in one way, but it's also boring at the same time. So it's like, like how do you find the middle ground of that?
yeah, no, I do agree. I will definitely concede that I understand where you're coming from 100%. And I don't mind it. I just don't, I guess I don't want a reliance on it. Because I feel like that's the biggest fear that I would have. Is we have, let's say, six new boss fights and we have two that are really unique and four that are just rehashes of the elites, which I don't think is going to be the case. Um, but not entirely sure. I do want to get back on topic of the streaming aspect of things,
All
um,
right.
but I am going to grab a water real quick. I've been doing this for a couple hours, so let me grab a
Oh,
water
you're
real
good,
quick.
man.
We will. I don't have like a Jeopardy waiting theme, um, but I tell you what. While I grab the water, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna set you up with a question. So, as you came back to streaming,
Mm.
your taste in games might have changed and all that stuff, but had streaming for you taken on a different meaning in terms of when you first started streaming, you were younger, as you got, more experience and you changed careers and all that stuff, did streaming change as well for you?
Hmm. Interesting. That's a good question, actually. I haven't thought about that. Hmm. Let's. How's it going? Suspicious. Huh. Has the meaning changed? I think I got an answer for my man. Hmm. What do you guys think Yanni looks like running around his house in a bunny costume? You guys think his neighbors think he's crazy? He like runs past his front window and people are like driving by. They just see this like grown man running across in his living room, full bunny outfit on, just thinking it's like the Christmas story all over again. Hmm.
Okay, I'm back. So sorry about that, everybody.
Oh, no, you're good.
They know he was crazy. Oh, no, no, there's an interview going on. No, 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 no. He was not talking to himself. Oh, there. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Um, but yeah. So, thinking about that. So, had
I
had.
got an answer for you.
All right, awesome. Go ahead. Take it away.
So, um, when I first started streaming, right, it was all about sharing what I had, which was my crew, my closest friends, my ability to play the game and just reach out to people that need help, people that want to ask questions, people that just want to play with us, just to be funny, just expand the friends I had and the community that I had, and just share, and all of that. Now I would say it is something to keep me busy and to keep me happier, dealing with a lot of life. I've had a lot of recent crazy life stuff happen that has brought a lot of stuff down. So, you know, I would say it keeps me motivated in some aspects, and it gives me something to do that I know that I enjoy, and it helps me reach out to other people, create new relationships, and communicate, and just, I don't know. It gives me a sense of, you know social, like, exploration. It lets me reach out and do all that. So I think that's something pretty cool, and I just like talking to new people. So the meaning for me is just, it's pretty much the same. I would just say it's more solo. Instead of having this crew to support me and to spend time with, it's more me being personal with other people. So
Well, yeah, I think you never want to underestimate how beneficial streaming can be to sustaining the self, so to speak.
yeah.
There's a lot of people that they get caught up in drama, or they say that they don't know how to get away from it. Um, but the simple truth of the matter is that a lot of times you get out of it what you put into it. And, if you find yourself, constantly being stressed out, um, and you need to take a reevaluation of streaming, I completely wholeheartedly understand and agree with that if that's what you feel is necessary. But I would also implore people to, take streaming as a reflection, right? Analyze how you handle certain stressful situations or don't handle certain stressful situations, because the reality is whether you make it as a streamer or not, I mean, I remember uh, being on uh, the when I was working at GameStop, we'll see, the Nintendo Wii had just come out. um, the Xbox, well, I think the Xbox 360 had been out for a little bit, but the PlayStation 3 had just come out. I think. Well, anyways, there were all these systems that had just come out, and and this was around the holidays when I started, and all the doors were lining up, and you know, everybody was, and I wasn't a streamer, but everybody, that was definitely a couple of weeks where you could not screw up, because if you screwed up one transaction at the cash register, you'd have a line of 40, 50 people behind them, and retail is hell for people who have not had the displeasure of working in it.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sure.
so it's it's definitely something where it was a high stress situation. And so, but it had nothing to do with streaming. It's relevant to conversation, but it had nothing to do with streaming. So
Right.
you're going to have high stress situations, and I definitely would tell people to take the skill sets you learn with streaming. With that being said, too, I love the attitude of using this to meet friends, build communities and stuff like that. Because even if streaming does dissipate for anybody, that can be stuff that lasts forever.
Hmm.
Um, there's people to this day that I talk to that they streamed a little bit in the beginning when I came to Twitch, and they don't stream anymore, but I still talk to them.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, you again never underestimate the value of anything that you're doing. You can always build a skill set from it. So I
Hmm.
think that
And
that's awesome. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, no, you're good. And add to that too is like I said, I streamed for like a year solid, and then I went into the military, and I was working, and I think it was maybe like a year and a half to 2 years before I streamed again, since I took that long break, and to my surprise, my first ever stream back, one of my oldest followers stopped in and said hello, and I had a few of my oldest followers still hop in, and it was honestly surprising that these people even had Twitch still. First of all, um, because some of them aren't even like they don't care that much about streams and stuff like that. So the fact that they had it, the fact that they still followed, and the fact that they even saw that I was online and hopped in to say hi was honestly astonishing, and I was like, holy cow, you guys are awesome. I it brings back memories of how great my community was back then, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and Sykes had actually something recently happen like that too, where he had some people come back that had not been in the stream for a while, and that's always awesome, by the way, to have people that, they're like, hey, I couldn't be around as much as I wanted to, but I was thinking about you the other day coming back, because that means a lot.
It's personal.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
Yeah.
have, a friend right now. I don't see him all the time one on one, but we send memes back and forth. It's like I don't know, like our meme lighthouse where we're just
Right.
flashing the light, guiding in the humor, and we oh sorry, I was looking at the emote spam. So
Yeah,
we
I see that.
so we have we have that communication between us, and some people would say that it's shallow or whatnot, but the fact that I still hear from him to this day, even though we don't get to hang out that much, is is awesome, and it makes me feel like I've truly made a connection with somebody that transcends just okay. Like I had friends when I was in a band, the band broke up, I don't see him
Hmm.
anymore, right? So
Right.
I
That
have
happens.
I have oh yeah, it does, yeah, yeah, and I don't begrudge him at all, but it's one of those things where it's a connection beyond the initial um, introduction that you have
Right.
with somebody.
And it's crazy how strong your connections can be because you know my crew that I played Destiny 1 with, that's like probably 4 or 5 years old at this point. Um, and one of the OGs that I used to play with, a really good friend of mine, I found out, after gaming with him for a while and streaming and playing with him and stuff like that, um, he lived in the same state as me, an hour away, and we met up. He came over, hung out with me for a little bit. We've been in touch ever since. We've been really great friends. I mean, I still play with him from time to time, and he was even my best man at my wedding. Like
Oh,
it's
awesome.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, what can happen, with the people that you meet. So.
Yeah. So whether you get some pog emotes, great friends, whatever comes from streaming, look at it all as a chance to grow as a person and as a blessing, and then you won't be in any way, shape, or form disappointed. If it works, awesome. But if it doesn't work, you've still made so many strides, both personally and in terms of you know outward growth. Making connections, networking, gaining new skill sets, gaining confidence, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
It's unlimited potential. Unlimited power. Sorry.
Right. No, you're good. And to add to
That had
that,
to had to make the meme. So
you're fine. Uh, the one of the biggest things that I remember my grandpa, who's still alive, but the thing that he told me at a younger age that I still value a lot is that connections are everything. If you make connections, they can take you so many places. And I've always held that with me. And I feel like that's what, another part of why I stream. And also, that's why I wanted to get so in touch with the community of Remnant, is because connections mean so much. They can help you, they can be there for you, and they can make you grow and help you be a stronger person in general. So I think connections is a huge thing.
Absolutely, and you never know who you're gonna meet, right?
Exactly.
I was cautioned, I was warned about all the trolls on Twitch, all the
Right.
nefarious people that could be around the internet. At 30
And
years,
even friends.
yeah,
Even friends can turn,
yeah,
because I've had that happen multiple times.
yep, and but you know what? At the end of the day, you know, if you could sit there and as somebody with crippling OCD, especially when I'm
Hmm.
not doing therapy and taking my medication. I mean, it can get bad. I'll be sitting here, folding the bunny suit 20 times over to before find the perfect way to put it in the drawer. Um, you can live a life of paranoia and worrying about things that'll never come. And there's numerous articles. One was on the Huffington Post, and it said 85% of things you worry about are never going to happen. It's just like the esophageal precancer that I have. I'm doing the best I can. I could sit here and worry about it and spend my whole life worrying about it and never stream on Twitch because it could potentially be stressful, never work out because when you're lifting weights, you could cause pressure to build up and then you could have
Hmm.
acid reflux, and then I could get hit by a truck. And people say, what? And that's exactly
or
that.
trip on your bunny suit. You never know.
Oh God. Um, you know, but that's exactly my point. My grandfather, he was a World War II veteran, flew with the Flying Tigers,
Hmm.
and he came back from the war, and due to PTSD, he became a chronic alcoholic afterwards, and you know how many people died, of course, in World War II, and he came back, and he lived through World War II, and he came back, and he died because he got drunk one night and came home and opened the wrong door. Instead of the door to the bedroom, he opened the door to the basement, fell down, and cracked his skull and hit his
Oh,
spine up into his brain. And so, the thing that you would think to worry about was not the thing that ended up getting him, and not ever getting. And I take lessons like that, and him never ever moving past his traumas and never dealing with them. And to his understanding and his credit, we don't know even now. We need to take, in my opinion, I don't want to talk politics, but we need to take even
yep.
better care of our military than what we do. But back then, it was for what,
Rougher for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, for what you would say now, it was even worse back then.
And then
And
what we say in the future is going to say the same thing. We
mhm.
didn't take as good, now than we did in the future. It's just how time goes, for sure.
So, but you spend your life worrying about things that'll happen, and something else comes along. So, if you're worried about streaming, if you're worried about trolls, if you're worried about, I mean, you know, it's fruitless to worry about it. And I'm not saying that it's easy, right? I mean, any
Right.
concerns like that, somebody, you get a influx of trolls coming to your chat, I mean, that could definitely be, concerning to somebody, or getting
Hmm.
harassed, on all your social media. But at the same time, right? I mean, I've had people, again, going back to GameStop, I've had people threaten to wait for me outside for work over a gift card that
Wow.
they bought, and so you can't worry about it. You're gonna have the trolls aren't just behind a computer screen. We kind of mistakenly think that they are a lot of times. They're not. you know.
Right.
Um, I'm looking at you people that cut me off in line at the grocery store. No, anyways. But yeah, so getting back to streaming and stuff like that, what so we talked a little bit about what your goals are currently. What going forward are you looking to do with the stream?
That's tough. Like I said, I don't really have a set stream schedule, and because of the military, I've got training that's coming up and different things like that. So it's hard to, you know, come up with a set goal. Like for example, for partnership and stuff like that. It's
Right.
tough. I would like to get to some point in my life where I can be streaming only, or at least a job that is easier and in a set schedule that I can make streaming a for sure thing and build to a partnership or something like that. But for right now, it's really just grow the community, get back to where I have as many viewers as I used to when I used to stream consistently, um, make new connections, make new friends, help the community as much as I can. I'm going to keep doing as much as I can to help people that I find and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I'm really riding on this whole Remnant game right now. It's definitely been helping me a lot with my stream, and it's been really fun. I've enjoyed it, so I'm hoping that it will grow and help my stream a lot, especially when this DLC drops. I think that my goal is just to keep doing what I'm doing because it's working, and hopefully I'll be able to see more progress over the future. And you know what I do with that, it's going to be dependent on what I do in my job as well. So
Okay. I well, I think that being good at the game, being a chill, wholesome person that I've had amazing experiences with and interactions with, I wish you obviously the best. But I think that you do have potential to grow, and, encouraging you to pursue something like the affiliate wasn't just simply because, do it, why not? I legitimately think that if it's something that you're a very goal-oriented person from what I can tell. And I think having goals like that and stuff to pursue is beneficial to everybody. So I would
yep,
encourage everybody to take, those I wouldn't say risk, but to take those uh, leaps of faith, if you will,
yep,
and just see what comes of it. Because you can't become partner if you're not affiliate, right? You
right,
can't get affiliate if you can't or if you don't hit that go live button, right?
hmm
Can't hit the go live button if you don't make a Twitch account. And there's all these
yep,
steps of getting outside your comfort zone if it's not within your comfort zone. But
hmm
no, I think what you've done so far is awesome. I'm super elated to have met you. Like I
yeah,
said, you've been a really, really great person uh, for the community. And when I talk about the community, I'm talking about Remnant, but I'm also talking about Twitch in general. Because
appreciate that.
I think that um, I've had to kind of go through and block certain posts on Twitter, not because they're necessarily the worst things ever, but I just don't can't be bothered to care about the not even the 1%, the millionth of a percent drama where three people earning $2 million a year, $3 million a year on Twitch don't like what the other one said. you know,
Yeah,
um,
I
it,
mean,
and I think people like yourself are what inspire me to keep going, but it's also people like yourself who are the basis of what I feel the foundation of Twitch should be. And that's,
yep,
just good, wholesome, uh, you know, just I wouldn't even say gamers, just people.
yep,
And people who happen to play games. And yeah, I think I think this has been awesome, Garrett.
hmm
And as always, well, actually, first before I ask if there's anything else you want to add, is that the Master Sword behind you?
Master Sword.
Yeah, the Link. What's the
No,
sword behind?
no, that's the Minecraft sword.
Damn it!
But
Damn it!
underneath of that is the Gallowhorn, which is a Destiny exotic. I don't know if you ever play Destiny, but
I have
yeah,
not.
yes, that is a huge exotic and a big part of the game. So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff back there, but
Dang,
yeah.
dang it! I was excited for a second, but that's still cool. The Minecraft sword. Um, but yeah, I would again I would implore everybody to go check out Impulsive. He is an amazing part of, like I said, the Remnant community, but not just that, also Twitch. Um,
Big RT man.
and let's see here, give the shout out. And as we're going out, as always, you know, thank you, Dragon. And of course, I'm fully anticipating in the very near future we will be talking again. You'll be hopefully able to come on again.
Yeah, and
Um,
get some game time.
yep, get some game time, and also we can talk about first thoughts of the DLC.
I
Uh,
would. I'm so excited for that, man. I really am.
I think that will be, and I'm gonna try. Like I said, I'm gonna try my best to get Sykes and Mario, and we can get and maybe Beard will be willing to join us as well. And we can just get a round table. We won't really actually have a round table, and even if we actually had a physical table, there'd be five of us, so it'd be a little weird. But anyways,
A little Photoshop will make it
we'll we'll
work.
we'll
Just throw
photo
a background of it and put all our faces on there. It'll be good.
we'll Photoshop. I feel like it'd be an episode of like a backdrop of Conan O'Brien, and I just Photoshop myself in the audience.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
where's Waldo? Find the bunny. Um, but at any rate, yeah, this has been an awesome experience, buddy.
for sure, man.
I'm gonna, like I said, leave you with the last word. Is there anything that you wanted to add?
Not really much, man. Like I said, I'm excited for this DLC to drop. I hope that it's as much as they really promised. I love this community. This community is awesome, and it's always great talking to you. I always enjoy interacting with you as much as I can, and it's great to finally be on, late night, after dark with Yawny in this bunny suit, which I definitely wasn't talking about when you were gone getting water or anything. But yeah, but yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. It's been
These
great
ears aren't
talking
for
to you.
show. I hear everything. No.
But yeah,
Well, Garrett, again, thank you so much, buddy. Everybody, please check out Impulsive Veins. Again, impulsive underscore veins. Dragon just put the link again. Super awesome person and great representation of how awesome the Remnant community can be. Yeah, I just can't say enough good about him. Be sure to check him out. And as always, Garrett, we're gonna leave with you know letting you. Were you gonna play some games?
yeah, I believe I was probably just gonna hop on. Dodd, Reg, and Blue, which I mentioned earlier, is online right now. I might be able to do something with him. If not, I might just hop into public lobbies and see what's going on with that for a little bit. It's almost midnight, so I'll probably be going for like an hour or two and just seeing what's going on in Remnant tonight.
All right. Well, PogChamp, buddy. Well, if that's the case, we're gonna send everybody over your way. So I'm
Appreciate it, man.
gonna go ahead and uh, and just do the last announcements, and then we will see you shortly in your channel and send everybody over. All right.
Sounds good, man. Make sure you get that good sleep.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna sleep in the bunny suit. I'm not even taking it off. All right. We will see you in just a minute, Garrett.
All right, I'll see you later, man.
All right. Okay, everybody. So we are going to head over to Garrett's stream as explained. And again, this has been a wonderful experience. Holy crap, we got through 3 interviews. Yeah, I this is why I definitely want to in the future limit it to which this was done because this was 100% on me. It wasn't on anybody else. But in the future, definitely looking forward to just getting back to one interview a day because I think it really really is helpful to clear my mind and allow me to kind of analyze and have a refresher course. Yawny, are you using the NDI feature through Skype? I am not, Beard. I am not using Skype right now. I've just been using Discord. Um, and and in the future, I'll be happy to do like side by side videos and all that stuff. I just got to figure it out. Truth of the matter is, I was gonna get the mic. I was gonna get the mixer and all that stuff. Had to take care of some bills and stuff and like pay off other things. So yeah, like taking care of the car and stuff. So I'm definitely gonna get that stuff. I got some panels that are coming in the works. We still got our theme song. I contacted somebody today about animated alerts. So yeah, so hopefully all this stuff like starts to culminate and come together. But oh sure, Beard, yeah, for sure. I'd be more than happy to listen. Um, but if at the end of the day, that stuff, I'll be honest with you all. The aesthetics of all that stuff is because I think it's so cool to like with the emotes. I think it's so cool to have not like your brand and all that stuff. Although I guess hang on, I am burning up. Although he's not a real rabbit. Actually, hang on. I think the ear's still. Wait, hang on. We can still. Okay, it's my gamer headset now. Um, so I think that actually that's kind of funny looking. Uh, the emotes and stuff like that. Like, yes, it is part of your brand, but honestly, it was just really cool to get emotes. I mean, it's as simple as that. It was really really awesome to have emotes, to have something with with my name on it. Um, something that the people that I love in this community, we could have all something to share. That's just really what it was. So I want to try to improve the stream in quality and aesthetic and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I if nothing changes aesthetic wise, I'm happy with everything the way it is. I just want partner in large part to get more emotes. I do want to do bit badges at some point because we got several people that would qualify for the bit badges. So I definitely want to consider doing that. Um, and yeah. Anyways, so yeah, three fantastic sets of interviews. Um, I would ask you all to do me a favor though. Currently, I am looking to fill. We are filled out until August 20. Let's see, when was it? Hang on, let me pull this up real quick. We are filled up until August 28th, 29th, and 30th. I actually have somebody I'm talking to now, so one of those days will probably be filled. But if you all ever have anybody that you think might be interested in something like this, as time goes on, uh, I will I will definitely be interested to hear if you all have anybody to suggest for getting into contact with to do an interview. So please keep that in mind. Again, love you all. You all have been fantastic as always. Thank you all so much, especially to those of you who have been here throughout all three of the interviews. But even if you haven't, thank you for just being in this one or any of the ones that you were in. Be sure to check out the VODs that are up. And yeah, as always, love you all so much. I'm off tomorrow, taking a break. Monday is my absolutely do nothing day. So with that being said, and Fantomi, I have not forgotten about your poem, buddy. That'll be done tomorrow. Okay, promise. That'll be done tomorrow. Actually, I have half of it done. But we are going to now hop on over to Impulsive Veins. Uh, Garrett, as you all know him too. Everybody, please stay for a little bit if you can. Drop a follow. Spam some hearts. Oh, I need to gift Nightbot a sub. Hang on. Oh, timed out. Huh. Well, I'll have to do it later. All right, whatever. Um. So, anyways, everybody, I'll somebody remind me I have to give Nightbot a sub at some point. Okay. Love you all so much. You all are amazing. Here, as always, is the Discord. Here is the Twitter. That is the raid message. Thank you so much, Dragon. Love you, brother. And yeah, and I'll see you all over at Garrett's stream for a little bit. I will try to be there for a couple minutes, anyways, while I brush my teeth, and then I am passing the out. Anyways, the bunny is out for the night. Love you all. Have a good night.